Gambled online? Come on, tell us. We won't tell anybody. Martha won't. You got a lot of company if you have.
All the time.
Even though it's illegal, millions of Americans wager big bucks online every year. Now, one lawmaker wants to up the ante. Congressman Barney Frank is pitching a bill to make online gambling legal and regulate a growing business. Listen.
People can gamble offline in many ways, at racetracks, in certain states, in casinos all over this country. And the principle that you should be able to gamble offline but not online seems to me, first of all, an intrusion on personal liberty, and secondly, a problem with regard to the consistency there.
Supporters also argue the United States will be a big winner in this, gaining billions in new tax revenue. With us now, Jeffrey Sandman with the Safe and Secure Internet Gambling Initiative. And Jeffrey, by our math, it says the U.S. could gain some $50 billion in tax revenue over the next 10 years. Still, you're not really in favor of this.
Well, the reality is, in fact, it's over $60 billion over the next decade. And if you look at it with what you just mentioned, millions of Americans now are gambling over $100 billion a year on offshore sites, which are not regulated. There are no consumer protections. We have no idea what's happening with the money. So you combine that with the ability to have a common sense regulated system, which gives Americans the freedom to gamble online, with the possibility of raising over $60 billion in revenues. That's a win-win on all around.
Go ahead.
You know, some folks obviously say that, you know, the more gambling there is, the more gambling addiction there is. We're in tough economic times. It's tempting to people to sort of try to make a quick buck, and they could get themselves in trouble. So why expand something that might be, you know, socially detrimental?
Well, first of all, the prohibition isn't working. That's evident. Second, with online gambling, frankly, you could have more safeguards against underage gambling, against compulsive gambling, to make sure that there's no identity theft, which doesn't exist right now. And I think as Congressman Frank and Congressman King, one of the other co-sponsors, and Ron Paul say, that, you know, adult Americans should have the right to do in the privacy of their homes what they want to do with their dollars.
Well, why should Uncle Sam get his cut, though? I mean, why should Uncle Sam get his cut of gambling, of online gambling? I mean, if you're going to regulate this, you think that it's fair that Uncle Sam comes in and takes a big chunk of the cash?
The reality, it's absolutely fair. What's happening now is all of these sites are offshore. We're not collecting any revenues. And in fact, if they were licensed here in the States, like any company doing business here in America, they would be paying their rightful taxes to us.
Yeah, but if you go down to Vegas right now, you put 20 bucks on black, right? Does the IRS know? Are they watching you? Do you just, I mean, a lot of people gamble every day, and there's really no government oversight at all.
Well, in fact, there is. All the casinos in Vegas or Atlantic City or on the Indian reservations are paying their taxes to the United States. And there's a long-time law that in terms of winning a certain amount, all of us who are gambling and winning are supposed to pay taxes to the IRS.
Jeffrey Sandman, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Well, a precious child.